Hey there, so this is my first video. I just want to introduce myself. So, my name is Amber. I have bipolar disorder as well as general anxiety, the usual depression and fibromyalgia. Oh, and a touch of OCD. Um, I am a meteorologist. I have a degree in meteorology as well as additional training from Environment Canada. Um, and I wanted to talk about how my mental illness has affected my job. Um, I found myself having to choose between medication and stability, and having a sound mind and being able to actually concentrate and use a working memory and do my job correctly. I am medicated. I firmly believe in taking medication to achieve stability, not only for myself, but for my family and friends. Um, but the problem with medications these days is there's a lot of side effects. And so for me, the biggest side effect I have is brain fog. And it affects my memory and it affects my ability to think clearly without confusion. And unfortunately, in a job like meteorologist, you need to be able to think quickly. You need to be able to remember lots of information for short amounts of time, for long amounts of time. And you need to be able to, without confusion, handle multiple different things. With multiple different deadlines, all on the go. And doing this with very little sleep a lot of the time. The problem with meteorology is you often have to work shift work. And it's not just shift work, it's rotating shift work. So there's a lot of nights, followed by a couple days off, followed by days, followed by a couple days off, followed by nights. And, as someone with a severe mental illness, I need to have consistent sleep every single night. And I can't do the flippy floppy thing anymore. It was just too destructive for my health. And I found myself having to choose between, again, the medication and the non-medication, but general health as well. So, being under all that stress for many, many, many weeks on end, it was destructive to my health. My fibromyalgia was out of control. I had wounds that wouldn't heal. I had a skin infection that wouldn't heal. I've had the same open wound on my body for 3 months now, and antibiotics aren't doing anything except keeping it from spreading. But it's just, I had to leave in order to heal, basically, not just mentally, but physically, literally heal. And so that was a very sad thing, knowing that I had to give up my career to preserve my health. Um, it was a very hard decision, a very heartbreaking thing I went through, and a lot of people don't understand. I know that if you also struggled with mental illness and you're bipolar and trying to keep things positive in your life and make a good difference in life and have a good life, like, it's hard. We're dealing with the kinds of barriers that most people never have to face, and being successful in life despite those barriers, like, that shows that you're a pretty fucking strong person. And you need to be proud of that. Even if you can't achieve your dreams, even if you can't do the job you want to do, if you still manage to find a position that you like and that works for you and pays the bills, then you did well. And I'm still trying to find that. My first career option as a meteorologist just isn't working out. I will still probably continue to offer my services as a freelance meteorologist, but it's not quite the same. Another reason I wanted to start a YouTube channel about this, it wasn't just for this one video to talk about my mental health and my career. It was, wanting to take my passion, which is weather, and extrapolate it to the rest of my life and try and find meaning. Between the weather and how I'm feeling or how my body is acting, and, maybe enlighten others that it's not something they're imagining. If they find that they are affected by the weather, that's a very real phenomenon, a very real effect. And as a scientist, I can say that that's something I have certainly felt, and I have found evidence for. And I would like to talk about that some more as I continue to make these videos. And I think also I want to talk about my spirituality. So, I'll come out and say I'm an atheist. I'm secular. I don't believe in gods. I don't believe in magic. However, I was born into a pagan family. My parents were Wiccan. My father later on became an atheist. My mom went back to Christianity, but I myself was raised in a Wiccan household. And so I grew up believing in a god and a goddess and this duality and almost bipolar aspect of spirituality some people have. And that's carried on through in my life despite my atheism. I still very much find affinity for gods and goddesses and, the ups and downs and the males and females, and it's always been a part of my life. It's always going to be a part of my life, and I want to talk about that with others, and assure them that if they feel it too, that they're not alone. I also want to talk about bipolar weather, because the weather is by its very nature bipolar. We have low temperature, high precipitation, low precipitation. We have high pressure, low pressure. It's always raining or not raining, right? Like we have these two poles, right? These two extremes, and the weather is always going between them, and my moods are always going between them, and my spirituality is always going between them, and it is just this driving force in my life, this duality. And yeah, I want to talk about that some more. I feel like there's lots that can be said, and I don't see a lot of people saying it, so that's where I come in. So if you've made it this far, yay! Really like to have you here, and I'd really like to hear what you have to say. And if there's anything you want me to talk about, anything you want me to describe, either scientifically or spiritually or whatever, please let me know. I really want to hear what you have to say, and I really want to open up a dialogue and talk about this. So, thank you. So we'll end it with a question. How would you like to discuss bipolar disorder? How has the weather affected you? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon.